Good morning, fish lovers. I hope you're all having a great day and a good start. Um, I was just sitting back and I was thinking, you know, why do human beings do things like keep fish or pets, animals in general? One might attribute it to, maybe we developed some farming gene, right? Because, for a lot of people in this hobby, uh, we've turned fish keeping to sort of fill a void we don't understand, but it's there. And for everyone who tries it, for everyone who has that sort of aim, whether it's consciously or even subconsciously, you quickly find that it's doing something for you, something good. And, and you're left to ponder, you know? You're left to wonder, why? Why is that? Not just for me. It's not just, this doesn't just happen to me. This is happening to millions of people around the world. Why? Why do we all have that in common? And you have to think back through time, all the examples in history of humanity and our relationship with animals and pets, if you want to call them that. I don't think they would have called them pets 3,000 years ago, because I don't look at modern religion for guidance. I'm sorry to say. I know a lot of people do. I've definitely tried to give it some reflection, but when you see the historical results of the modern monotheistic religious structure, it's not very encouraging. It would appear the message is wrong. So I try to go a little further back in time. And it's not that humans were any better than back then than we are now. In many ways, we're better now. And I suppose many ways they were better then. So you have to look back at what we do know about ancient culture. And a good one to focus on is Egypt, because a lot of things that began with modern humanity sort of started there, the cradle of civilization, so to speak. And, they believed in many gods. Just all cultures did. It was the same sort of structure back then, like we all have the same sort of structure now. Just wasn't a single god. There was a god for everything, a god of lightning, a god of thunder, whether it be the Vikings or the Egyptians, or the Greek. It was all there. There were several gods. But the Egyptians specifically, they kind of always had this belief that animals were like a bridge, a link between the afterlife and this life. They were manifestations of the gods all around us. And at one point because every society's beliefs evolve and change a little over time. The Egyptians lasted a very long time, and I wish I could remember the time period, but there was a time when the Egyptians were intensely mummifying animals, and quite literally of all kinds. And there was always an animal associated with a god. There's a very obvious link there if you just look at, all of the figures. There's an animal attached to them, and they believed when an animal loved you, at this point when they were mummifying them, that the afterlife for the Egyptians and preparing for it was also they were very preoccupied with it. That's the whole reason why the pyramids exist, for example. They were very, very intensely preoccupied with that concept. And they believed that when you died, you met Anubis, and he had some scales. And they called it the weighing of the scales or something along that line. And now, when you look this up, there's variations all over the place, but there is a specific time in Egyptian history, and there are theories that line up with what I'm saying, and I believe they're accurate because the evidence shows it. And they would mummify the animals for this reason, because they were caring for them all their lives, and they were giving them, trying to make this creature their bestest friend, because of what I'm about to say. And so when you die, you meet Anubis, and he places your heart on a scale. And shit hasn't been good for you, and you have a heavy heart. Basically, the scales tilt, the heart's too heavy, and this demon comes down and devours your soul, and you don't get to cross into the afterlife. So, the concept of if you were a good person or a bad person, the good person gets to go to heaven still, in this case, and the bad person goes to, straight to the bowels of some beast, never to exist again for eternity. So, because being a human being is quite often an experience that leads to a heavy heart, they clearly had great concern, and they believed that the bridge between our world and the next laid with these animals, and they had a say. So, if you were good to an animal and it truly loved you, before the beast would have a chance to devour your soul, these creatures would rush in and speak up for you. Literally placing their finger on the scale and balancing it. Acting as your bridge to the afterlife. So the moral of the story is, always do your best for your fishies, and your cats, your dogs. They didn't rely on people to achieve this for them. And there's a reason for that. I hope you all have a wonderful day.